In this video, we'll be looking at the table icon found in Toolbar 2. This is very similar to Excel tables, but not the same. Let's go have a look at it. Firstly, I go and click on the table icon and it launches this video. Here I am able to go and select how many rows and how many columns I want by dragging my mouse over it. So I click and hold and then I select how many I want. I can either let go and that'll insert that amount, or I can click and custom table and then I can tell it how many columns, how many rows I want. It also has some properties, make cells square, and remember these dimensions for new tables. So if I use my tables often, I can keep those same dimensions. So let's insert that table. Now what am I going to use the table for? The table is used to organize data, classify objects or images, or even hide information and reveal it to the students. Let's look and see how this works. So I have three handles: my resize handle, my move handle. So if I want to move the table, I have to use that handle, and my drop down handle. If I click anywhere else on the work area, that border disappears. So I need to drag over the entire table to get those features back so that I can go and move them. Now this table can be modified. I can go and resize or change the sizes of my cells by moving the border lines up and down. I can also change the properties of this by selecting my table. I can go and I can change the colors. So I can have a full color, so I can change the full color. I can change the line color, and if I want, I can even change the text color before I put the text in. How do I add text to a cell? I double click on the cell and then you can go ahead and you can type. There are other ways of getting text in. If I already have text on my page, I can then drag it. Now you'll notice that the cells highlight where I want to be, and when I let go, it injects that into my table. The other thing that I can add in is pictures. Again, my table changes and it sucks it in. Firstly, you'll notice that the text has gone, and secondly that it resizes it. So if you want to put a detailed picture into your table, be careful, because it'll shrink it down and you'll lose a lot of that detail. Inside my cell I have a drop down, so I have options where I can go and work individually on the cell. I can split the cells into smaller bits. If I want, I can merge the cells. So if I highlight two cells by dragging my mouse over both of them, drop down, I can merge them back into one size. I can insert a row, column, delete, and then I can add cell shade. What's a cell shade? A cell shade is a little cover that appears over the cell, and when a student or the teacher clicks on it or presses it on the board, it disappears and reveals what's inside the table. Click on that again and it covers it. It's a great little tool to have for hiding information behind it, and I can select as many cells as I want, and I can add the cell shades, and then I can go and delete all of them. A nice feature is that I can go ahead and I can delete specific cells. We use this when we make crosswords. Let's go and make a quick little table. So here I have 4 different modes of transport. I know that I'm going to need 2 columns and 4 rows. So I'm going to click on, I'm going to have a 4x2. I'm going to move it into the area I want. I'm not going to add any properties. I'm not going to change color or anything at the moment. The one column can be for the picture, and the other one can be for the name. And there's various ways that you can go about doing this. You can get the students to come and put them all in to the table, to drag them in. You could already have them in there. You can get the students to come up and write. So once again, I drag and my cell turns blue. I could then go and match it up. And the last one, Remember, if I double click, I can type in. Now I could go and highlight all of them by dragging and holding my mouse down over all of those pictures, clicking on the drop down, adding cell shade. And now the students can come up and tell me what's the name of the transport. It goes on land or road, that's in the air, that's on rail, and that's by sea. And we can go and change it. Now with this cell, all the letters on the left, you can go and change it exactly like you would. The font, the size, the position. So here I'm going to go put it in the middle. If I want to do the other three, I can drag the three and then just click on the middle, and that will go into the middle. Let's have a look at some of the examples that we could use this for. Here I have a crossword, and the students can come up and they can write in the answers over the crossword. So last month of the year, how many days in November? The next example is for maths, and the students come up. I've infinite cloned my numbers, and they can go and they can drag the numbers into the different blocks. Remember, if I drag over a number, it will replace that number. If I click undo because I made a mistake, it'll take it out and there will be my original number. We could even use it for telling. So how do you travel to school? Nice little filled in table here. The students raise their hands or they come up and they press and tell us how they travel to school, and then we have a little table. Great activity, slightly complicated with the dragging in feature, and keep in mind when you drag things over it, it's going to get sucked in and it's going to get smaller. Thank you for watching this video, brought to you by the Technology Training Academy.